In today's video, we will be making one of the foundational cocktails that I believe everybody should learn how to make, the whiskey sour. We're going to talk about its history, we're going to make the cocktail, and along the way, show you two popular variations of this. Now stay tuned to the very end because we're going to use the formula that is the sour and show you how to transform that into many different cocktails. Hey everybody, I'm Chris from A Bar Above. I'm a 15-year veteran of the bar and somebody that just loves making fun and delicious cocktails. So we're going to make the whiskey sour here in a second. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about the history. So the first time we see the whiskey sour in print is in this book, Jerry Thomas's Bartender's Guide, which was published in 1862. Now the actual structure and formula of the sour predates this all the way back to British naval times, where sailors were given a ration of whatever spirit they had on board, lime juice, and water. Now, once we add sugar into the mix, which was very common during that time, you get the structure for a sour. Spirit, acid, sweetener, and water. Now, we're going to talk about the flexibility of the sour here in just a second, but now let's go ahead and make a whiskey sour. To make the cocktail, we're going to go ahead and build it right inside of the smaller of the two shakers. This is also known as our cheater tin. So I'm just going to follow the formula for basically every sour, and that is 2 parts of spirit, whiskey in this case, 1 part of acid, lemon juice, and 1 part sweet, simple syrup. So now what we have in this cheater tin is a classic whiskey sour. Now I mentioned earlier in the introduction that we're going to go ahead and do some variations along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and transform this into a Boston sour simply by adding about 3/4 of an ounce of egg white. That's going to give us a nice beautiful pillow of egg white foam right across the top, and it's going to mellow out some of that lemon juice as well. And now that I've added the egg white, I'm just going to go ahead and do what is called a dry shake. So I'm going to shake this without ice. That's going to build up that layer of cocktail foam, and then I'm going to add ice to go ahead and chill it. So that's what I'm going to do now. So there we have the Boston Sour. Now, one of the other popular variations that we're going to do is transform this Boston Sour into a New York Sour. And we're going to do that simply with the addition of red wine. And it sounds a little bit weird, but trust me, it is a delicious variation on a traditional whiskey sour. So we're just going to go ahead and pour the wine, probably only a couple ounces, like 2 ounces, right into the spoon, and I'm going to go ahead and layer it right below the egg whites here. All right, now for the final step, we're going to go ahead and garnish the cocktail. So a traditional garnish for a whiskey sour is just a little bit of lemon zest, and we're going to go ahead and express those oils right across the top. And what that's going to do is going to really help with kind of mellowing out the smell of the egg whites on the cocktail and keep it smelling very fresh. And then we're just going to go ahead and add cherry to it as well. So there we have it. We have transformed a whiskey sour into a Boston sour, and then finally into a New York sour with the addition of egg whites and red wine. Cheers. Earlier in the video, we mentioned how flexible the sour is as a cocktail family or structure. And to really illustrate that point, let's examine two of the whiskey sour's cousins, the daiquiri and the gimlet. Now, the daiquiri and the gimlet use the exact same structure as this. So we're using rum, lime juice, and simple syrup in the exact same proportion, and that's a daiquiri. For the gimlet, it's going to be gin, lime juice, and simple syrup. And this really does showcase how flexible this is. If you add any base spirit, any acid, and any simple syrup equivalent, then it's going to be a pretty delicious cocktail, and it's going to be really balanced as well. In this video, we talked about the history of the whiskey sour. We've made the cocktail and evolved it to what is the New York sour. We've also kind of examined the sour as a structure and why I think it's such a foundational cocktail to master. I'd love to hear your favorite version of the whiskey sour in the comments below. Now, we know you have watched a ton of videos just like this in the past, and you know what we're going to ask. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell icon, and you will get notified anytime we release cocktail videos similar to this one. Until then, I hope you are enjoying your favorite version of the whiskey sour. Cheers.